All right, let's get right into it. So you're a leader, right? And an AI proposal lands on your desk. The demo looks amazing, the promises are huge. But how do you really know if it's a game changer or just a fancy money pit? Well, today, we're going to break down the 5 critical management questions you absolutely have to ask before you even think about saying yes to an AI project. Here's the plan. First, we'll talk about a super common pitfall called the approval trap. Then we're going to walk through what I call the manager's gauntlet, a 5-question framework that covers the problem you're trying to solve, the data you'll need, who's accountable, the people involved, and finally, how you'll review it. Let's do this. So first things first, we've got to address the biggest issue right out of the gate. Way too many high-stakes AI decisions are being made based on the wrong things, or worse, on just a gut feeling. And honestly, it's a trap that's really, really easy to fall into. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? When a decision gets made for the wrong reasons, you don't just get one failed project. No, it's worse than that. You end up with wasted money, wasted time, and this growing sense of distrust in the technology itself. It's a real problem. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got the usual suspects for bad decisions. A flashy demo, some hype from a vendor, or maybe just a vague skepticism. It's all based on emotion, not logic. But the column on the right, that's where we need to live, using a structured framework that demands results you can actually measure and, most importantly, clear human accountability. This is how we stop just hoping an AI project works and start knowing it will. Okay, on to our first question. This is the absolute bedrock of the whole gauntlet. Seriously, if you don't get this one right, nothing else is going to matter. It's all about defining the problem you're solving with laser precision. I know, this seems almost too simple, right? But you would be shocked, truly shocked, at how many AI projects kick off without a solid answer to this. Vague goals are basically an open invitation for failure. We need to be specific, and we need to know exactly what the finish line is supposed to look like from day one. And here's a perfect example of what I mean. We want to be more efficient well, it's a wish. It's not a goal. You can't measure it. But reduce document review time by 30%? Now we're talking. That is a crystal clear, measurable outcome. You either hit that number or you don't. That's the level of clarity you have to demand from your team. All right, once we have a clear problem, we can move to the second question. And this is often the hidden killer of so many promising AI projects, the data. You know, every single AI model runs on data. It's the fuel. So the real question isn't just, do we have data? It's all about readiness. Is the specific data you need for this specific problem actually available? Can you get to it? And is it clean enough to even be useful? Think of this as the checklist you need to run through with your team. And you need them to be honest. Can they say yes to every single one of these? Does the data even exist in the first place? Can we actually access it? Is it accurate? Is it clean? A truly honest assessment right here can save you months of headaches and a whole lot of money. And that's exactly why that checklist is so vital. The tech can be absolutely perfect, but if you're feeding it garbage data, guess what you're going to get? Garbage results. It's that simple. At the end of the day, this isn't a tech problem, it's a governance problem. Okay, let's talk about what I believe is the single most important leadership question in this entire framework. It all comes down to ownership. This is the moment of truth in any meeting about an AI proposal. If the AI makes a bad call, a biased decision, or a really costly error, who is the one person whose job it is to answer for that? And let's be super clear about what we're asking here. We're not asking for the project manager. We're asking for the person whose neck is on the line for the quality, the results, and the consequences of what this AI actually does. It's a totally different question. This is what we call a governance gap. And if you ask that accountability question and all you get back is silence, or maybe a fuzzy answer about the team being responsible, you haven't found a solution. You've just uncovered a massive, unmanaged risk sitting right in the middle of your project. Now for our fourth question, which zeroes in on the most consistently overlooked factor in any big technology rollout, the human beings who actually have to use the thing. You can have the best, most advanced technology in the entire world, but if your team isn't trained on it, if they don't trust it, or if they don't understand its limits, well, you've just bought some very expensive shelfware. So what is the actual plan to bring your people along for the ride? This chart just says it all, doesn't it? Look at that split.
Almost all the budget and all the attention goes to the tech itself, while training and getting people ready for the change is just an afterthought. This is exactly why so many projects fail to get adopted. That ratio has to change.
And that brings us to our fifth and final question. This one is all about building yourself an exit ramp. It makes sure that you don't just launch a project and then cross your fingers and hope for the best. You have to build in an early checkpoint. And I don't mean 6 months down the road, I mean soon after launch. You need a dedicated moment to pause, look at the real-world results, compare them to your original goal, and make a tough, honest call. Do we keep going? Do we make some changes? Or do we pull the plug before we waste any more time and money? You see, when you boil it all down, this is the key takeaway. Evaluating an AI project is not just a job for the IT department. These 5 questions about the problem, the data, the accountability, the people, and the review process are fundamental leadership responsibilities. They're management questions.
So if you only take one single thing away from this today, please let it be this final litmus test. It's the one question that cuts through all the hype and all the noise. Next time you're in a meeting about a new AI tool, just ask that simple question: who is responsible when this goes wrong? The answer you get, or maybe the silence you get, will tell you everything you need to know. And if you do get that silence, well, you've just found your first and most important problem to solve.